Okay, look, my perception is that when I look at the youngsters today, the way they are tech savvy and the way they use technology, that if the education, and when I say education, especially teachers, if they don't catch up in using such technologies, what happens that there is a gap which comes in where the students can't relate to the teacher, because students are already so far ahead in using and encompassing those technologies in their daily life, say even for Facebook or Twitter or any other social networking sites. So once they see that they have a teacher who is not so interactive, doesn't take on to such social medias, then your perception about your teacher, that connect never builds. And I also very strongly believe that today in this era when we are so tech savvy, there is no one way flow of information. It is not that teacher has to preach and students have to learn. It is more of collaboration which happens both ways. Teacher has to equally learn from the students as students have to learn from teacher. So in this kind of era, it becomes of prime importance that information communication technology is really put into place by educational institutes. They build onto some platforms, go onto a digital collaborative platform where all the stakeholders, whether it be teacher or students, all of them get together, which is a more inclusive learning. So that is why I believe that ICT is becoming more and more relevant for education than any other time in our era. As I said, so now when I say that education really needs ICT, the second challenge today is that there is no bridge to cap the distance between our tech companies and our educational institutions. There is no common bridge. Any bridge, if it exists, is today just a simple vendor-buyer relationship. But when I see an ICT, I believe that it has to go way beyond the vendor-buyer relationship. And to go beyond that relationship, it is important for all of us to come to such events, understand each other, and then probably the educational institutes and technology companies like us have to get together, collaborate with each other, to visit their campuses, understand their pain points, and then try to give a solution. So any such event only helps us to bring us together closer. How ICT has changed the entire education system. So it is more communicative, more interactive, and probably more interesting. I really hate that when I was in school, there was so much of interest around than those textbooks. And if there ever was an interesting class, it would depend on an interesting teacher. Because if the teacher was interesting, he would try to create some communication, some interaction. But I believe 70% of the teachers would be purely textbook oriented. So naturally there was no fun in getting educated. You would almost most of the time think to run away from the class rather than sitting in the class. So that is where ICT, one is that it brings that kind of engagement, that kind of interest for students to learn. And second is then the kind of information explosion which has happened across the world is now at your fingertips. So sitting in a classroom today, you can have a global view of whatever you are learning. So that is, I believe that is what I believe is the most. So when we are talking of ICT, one piece is what I am talking about, collaborative learning and interaction, which happens inside the classroom. The other piece is the communication between the institution and all the stakeholders in this education, be it your parents, staff members, students. Today what happens that if I am a part of an institution even if I am not part of an institution and I have to call up to find out certain information about an institution, I have to run around. There's no one place where I can just call up and find out all the information, be it related to courses, admissions, registrations, If I'm already a student, whether I can participate in a particular course. If I'm a parent, can I call up and try to connect to a teacher instantaneously? So all this is a cumbersome process today. So we have a platform which we say C-Zentrix Intelligent, which you see is a platform which helps to bring all the stakeholders connected to the institution over a voice platform instantaneously. So whether it is for the help desk support which an institution wants to build, or whether it is for universities who want to do a lead management, because lead generation is one of the key important areas for private institutions. So those are the two items where our solutions really fits in. The third piece which we are now offering a lot is the missed call solution and the robocall. So these are the new platforms. Today we say that if you want your students to get registered for an event, if you want teacher feedback to happen anonymously without student coming in front, you can just build a missed call number platform where people can give missed call and try to register for an event, give a feedback for a teacher without coming up front. So that brings a really good platform for two-way interaction. If you have to announce an exam results today, so today you can have exam results blasted over the voice. You can, moment result comes out, you can just call up all the people, all the parents, all the students, they pick up their phone and automatically the entire result is announced to them. So that becomes an easy way to send the information. Talk about parent-teacher meeting. Today, where does a parent have any time to go to school and understand and learn where his kid is going wrong? There you can use audio and video conferencing, so they are part of our platform. So you can build that platform where you can have days or time where parents can call in, connect to a particular teacher, discuss the issue. Even the entire recording of that issue is available to you later. So you bring in all the stakeholders much closer using this platform. Then we are also seeing all the latest issues related to the security of kids, women. Even institutions can build a dedicated helpline with Android apps given to all the students and staff members, so that whenever they are having a disaster like situation, they can immediately connect to the central help desk of the institution. So all this help desk, lead management, missed call, robocall, conferencing solution, help desk solution, everything comes on a single platform on our C-Zentrix Intelligent, which can be adopted by any institute, like today NIIT Limited or Amity University. These are two of our big institutions which have adopted our solution for doing these items. The most interesting space which we see, one is definitely decimation of information over Android and other app platforms, be it mobile or tablets. That is definitely going to happen. That is happening, and it's going to happen more and more. It's going to happen because as the tablets speed, power would improve, the content would improve, the ubiquitousness of these machines and devices would improve, more and more schools will have to adopt that and get out of the standard copybook thing. The second which we see is that there's a lot of collaborative platform coming in. Today I see publishers on one end, universities on one end, and a tech company building a platform where all publisher content is available for an university to build its course material, or for their teachers to go there, pick up material from different publishers, digital material, put their own material in it and create a very good learning material for their classroom. So that is another platform which we really believe would really grow. So the third, I would believe, would be something to do with robotics, which is really catching up. It was already there in US, and as the cost of manufacturing the hardware, the way the software is coming up, I'm very sure, I believe that right from the school days, kids would be highly involved in doing this kind of projects, in these kind of experiments, where robotics will become a part of their life and would be helping them understand many of the laws of physics, chemistry in real-time examples. So I believe this is where probably we are headed for.